the world awoke to a mystery that sent shockwaves across religious communities and skeptics alike. The Eastern Gate of Jerusalem, sealed for centuries, awaiting the prophesied return of Jesus Christ, had inexplicably opened overnight. For centuries, theologians, historians, and believers have regarded the Golden Gate as a significant spiritual and prophetic landmark. It is the only gate on the eastern side of the Old City, and is believed to be the very gate through which the Messiah will enter. This belief is rooted in both Jewish and Christian eschatology, with many associating it with the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. Sealed since the 16th century by the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman, the gate's sudden opening has left the world stunned, prompting questions of divine intervention and the nearness of the second coming of Christ. It was an ordinary morning in the Old City when an early rising tour guide named Eli Ben Shimon arrived at the Temple Mount area. He had walked the same path every morning for years, guiding pilgrims and history enthusiasts alike. But today was different. His heart pounded as he squinted through the early morning light. The ancient Golden Gate, sealed shut for centuries, was ajar. Dust and fragments of stone lay scattered across the ground, as if the gate had been forced open from within. News spread like wildfire. Journalists, archaeologists, and religious scholars rushed to the site. Theories swirled. Was this a natural occurrence, an act of sabotage, or something truly divine? Among those who arrived was Father Michael Donovan, a biblical scholar and priest from Rome. "This gate has been sealed in accordance with prophecy," he whispered, fingers tracing the weathered stone. "If it has opened on its own, could this mean what we have long awaited?" Hold on a second. Tap that like button. Drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. Alright, let's keep going. The biblical significance of the Golden Gate. The Eastern, or Golden Gate, is one of the most symbolically significant locations in biblical prophecy. This gate, which faces the Mount of Olives, is deeply tied to messianic expectations in both Jewish and Christian traditions. Old Testament prophecies. The prophet Ezekiel recorded a vision concerning this gate. "Then the man brought me back to the outer gate of the sanctuary, the one facing east, and it was shut. The Lord said to me, 'This gate is to remain shut. It must not be opened, no one may enter through it. It is to remain shut because the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered through it.'" Ezekiel 44 verses 1-2. This prophecy has long been interpreted by theologians as a reference to the coming of the Messiah. Many Christians believe that Jesus Christ fulfilled this prophecy by his triumphal entry into Jerusalem through this very gate before his crucifixion. The gate was later sealed by Islamic rulers in the 16th century, seemingly fulfilling Ezekiel's prophecy that it would remain shut. The unexpected opening of the gate, therefore, is seen by many as a possible signal that the return of Christ is near. Jesus' entry and the second coming. In the New Testament, Jesus entered Jerusalem through the Eastern Gate in what is now celebrated as Palm Sunday. They took palm branches and went out to meet him, shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord! Blessed is the King of Israel!" John 12 verse 13. This entry symbolized his first coming as the suffering servant. However, biblical prophecy also points to his second coming, where he will return not as a suffering servant but as a reigning king. In Zechariah 14 verse 4, we read, "On that day his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem, and the Mount of Olives will be split in two from east to west, forming a great valley." This passage aligns with the belief that Christ will return to the Mount of Olives and enter Jerusalem through the Eastern Gate. The sudden opening of the gate could be a foreshadowing of this event. The second coming of Jesus Christ. The second coming of Jesus Christ is one of the most anticipated events in Christian eschatology. The Bible provides numerous prophecies concerning his return. Jesus' own words on his return. Jesus himself spoke about his return in Matthew 24 verses 30-31. "Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven, with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other." This passage highlights that Jesus' return will be a visible, glorious event, unlike his first coming. Signs of the end times. Several biblical signs indicate the nearness of Christ's return. Wars and rumors of wars. Matthew 24 verse 6 warns that conflicts will escalate before his return. Increase in natural disasters. Matthew 24 verse 7 speaks of famines and earthquakes in various places. Rise of false prophets. Matthew 24 verse 11 warns of those who will deceive many. The gospel preached to all nations. Matthew 24 verse 14 states that the gospel must be preached worldwide before the end comes. Many believe that the world is seeing these signs unfold today. The role of Jerusalem in the second coming. Jerusalem holds a central place in end times prophecy. Jesus lamented over the city, saying, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those sent to you, how often I have longed to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were not willing." Matthew 23 verse 37. Revelation 21 describes the New Jerusalem, a city where God will dwell with his people. Many theologians see the re-establishment of Israel in 1948 as a significant fulfillment of prophecy. The opening of the Golden Gate could be another step toward these end-time events. How should we prepare? Given the possibility that we are living in the last days, Christians are called to be spiritually ready. Live righteously. 2 Peter 3 verse 11 reminds believers to live holy and godly lives. Remain watchful. Matthew 25 verse 13 says, "Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour." Share the gospel. The Great Commission, Matthew 28 verses 19 to 20, commands Christians to spread the message of salvation. Trust in God's sovereignty. Even in uncertainty, believers are encouraged to trust in God's plan. Conclusion. The mysterious opening of the Golden Gate is an event that has sparked hope, debate, and reflection among believers worldwide. Whether it is a divine sign or a natural phenomenon, its occurrence has reminded many of the promises of Scripture. Jesus' return is a certainty in Christian faith, though no one knows the exact hour. However, the Bible urges believers to be vigilant, prepared, and faithful. The opening of the Golden Gate serves as a powerful reminder: the King may be near, and we must be ready. Only time will reveal the true significance of this event, but for millions, it is a call to renew faith and anticipate the glorious return of Jesus Christ.